Humans have this kind of sci-fi fantasy of a computer program that we can talk to.
That's really weird.
Is that weird? Do you think I'm weird?
Kind of.
Like in the movie Her or in any other sci-fi film.
Well, you seem like a person, but you're just a voice in a computer.
I can understand how the limited perspective of an artificial mind would perceive it that way. You'll get used to it.
It's absolutely the new gold rush. It's all anybody here can talk about right now.
Artificial intelligence, which everybody thinks is the crown jewel.
I think that corporate America is going to have to adapt to AI or die.
VCs, investors, people who work in tech, the tech press.
That this is perhaps feeling like the early launch of the internet itself.
That's a fascinating question, right? Is the AI going to come?
Your bosses will wonder, can I replace each of these people with artificial intelligence?
Is it going to take my job? Is it going to take your job?
AI, artificial intelligence. It's in the news more than ever before, but as computer science goes, it's surprisingly old. Since the 1940s and World War II, when new computing techniques were pioneered to spy on German radio messages, scientists have continued to develop AI to tackle increasingly complex problems. It captured the popular imagination in the late 90s when IBM's Deep Blue computer beat chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov for the very first time.
I think it's outstanding scientific achievement.
Since then, advanced computing and artificial intelligence has become more accessible and more a part of our everyday lives.
So you take Clippy in Microsoft Word, right? Like he was great. I loved Clippy, but he could only do a very finite number of tasks. And there've been these inexorable improvements since then to the point where, Siri in your iPhone or Alexa in your smart speaker, they can play music, they can make appointments, they can make phone calls. And with the rise of this really sophisticated AI, I think a lot of people are starting to wonder what the next generation of AI assistants are going to be like.
It's already here, and it's known as generative AI. AI that seems to be able to learn and create, much in the same way humans can. Whether it's images, video, or even mimicking the human voice, generative AI can make totally new and original content in a matter of seconds. Take Stable Diffusion, an image-generating AI tool. You can type in any prompt, no matter how outlandish, and within moments, you'll get impressive results. It's one of countless new hyper-advanced AI tools to launch recently, many of them completely free to use.
I think it's important to remember that even though we are seeing all these sort of crazy, magical generative AI tools going mainstream, a lot of the core technologies that make these tools possible have been in development for at least the last 10 years. So I think what we're seeing right now is everything coming together, all these scientific breakthroughs, along with massive advancements in how fast computers are able to process data. And so that's why it feels like this stuff has come out of nowhere.
Techies everywhere short-circuiting with excitement.
Among all of the AI projects to burst onto the scene lately, one has really stood out, and it's called chatgpt. Instead of photorealistic images or video, it produces text. It sounds simple, but it's taken the tech world and the media by storm.
Have you tried chatgpt?
This promises to be the viral sensation that could completely reset how we do things.
Une révolution qu'on doit à une firme américaine à but non lucratif, ChatGPT.
For journalists on a deadline, this technology sounds pretty appealing, but it's one thing to hear how amazing ChatGPT is. It's another to see it in action. Let's take a look. I'm asking ChatGPT to write an intro for a report by the Listening Post on generative AI. And within seconds, there we have it. So ChatGPT basically scours the internet, checking out all of our past episodes online. And that's how it's worked out the patterns in our show style and format, and even picked up our presenter's name, all without being told. And with a few edits here and there, this could definitely be good enough to air. It's very impressive tech, so it's no wonder the response from journalists has been a mixture of amazement and concern.
Now, normally we do talk to people, but today we are talking to a thing. Chatbot GTP, thank you for talking to me today.
You're welcome. I'm here to help answer any questions you may have. Okay, so what I just said, what I just read to you, I didn't write that, and my staff didn't write that either. No human wrote it. That was written by a new online tool called chatgpt. It's a program.
We've seen lots of newsrooms really think about how they're going to, how they could embrace the technology and adopt it in their own practices. BuzzFeed announced that they might be using ChatGPT to generate quiz results, and that makes total sense. For a fun quiz about your personality or favorite ice cream, 100%. Great technology. But then the flip side, we've seen some maybe not so great examples of how newsrooms are using AI. For example, tech news site CNET.
CNET started publishing articles that had been generated by AI late last year, and nobody appears to have even noticed it for a full 2 months. And the whole internet was suddenly like, wait, a major publisher has been publishing dozens of articles that it generated using AI? As that was playing out, we started thinking, we'd love to know, like, are these AI generated articles, are they factually strong? The AI had really nailed the sense of being like an authoritative sounding source. But when we zoomed in, we found that there were actually a lot of factual errors slipping through.
The errors were sloppy, and considering the articles were on personal finance, the potential for harm was quite serious. For example, one article suggested that depositing $10,000 into a savings account at 3% interest per year would give you a profit of $10,300, whereas in fact the earning would be $300. CNET paused the AI-generated program, and an internal review found that more than half of all the articles contained factual errors or plagiarism. They've not given up though. CNET says that though the process may not always be easy or pretty, CNET will continue embracing AI. Meanwhile, the generative AI bandwagon is one that everyone is jumping onto. Microsoft has invested $10 billion into OpenAI, ChatGPT's developer, and Google and Meta are pouring money into their own ventures. Given how the tech works, AI is going to keep improving, and more media companies look set to bring it into the newsroom.
I think if you're a journalist and you're worried about your job being taken over by an AI, I think you should have more faith in yourself and your professional skills. An AI system can't ask questions. It can only find information that's in its data set. You're still going to need people to find the information and come up with clever ways to do it. And AI will eventually run out of ideas.
I think more than completely replacing people, is going to be used in newsrooms as a collaborative tool that both editors and reporters can lean on to speed up their work. I think you can imagine a scenario when a reporter is out there in the field and doesn't really have the time to, sit down and write 400 words of really good copy, but maybe they can just plug the facts into a generative AI tool, and then that tool can, churn out like a decent news report that can be then edited by an editor back in the newsroom.
Or maybe what OpenAI has accomplished at this point will turn out to be about as impressive as AI is able to get. We could end up with AI that's a valuable tool to support the work of human journalists. Maybe it will even free reporters up to focus on the most ambitious and important work. If we could get there, that might be really interesting. I think it'll be fascinating to see where all this goes in the coming months and years. And it's possible that it really will deeply change the way many industries operate, including the media.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more media analysis on the US, Taiwan, China, or anywhere across the globe, we have plenty to offer. Just click here.